So it had to be kept a secret. And so when the prophet spoke things in the old days, they didn't understand what they were saying. It was in veiled terms. It was hidden. And what does that mean, Lord? And he said, it's sealed up until the end. You can't know this. And so these things have been secret from the foundation of the world, but now Jesus is beginning to reveal them. And as a Christian, we know things that kings and prophets did not know 3,000 years ago. God has made them plain to us. So we ought to appreciate what we have. We ought to appreciate these things that about salvation, about grace, about love, and about God, about eternal life that God has made known to us clearly, that were kept hidden and veiled over the centuries. So give thanks to God that you know these things, and show your appreciation by living a life of dedication to God, because He has given you something precious. He's given you something wonderful. And there were people whose hearts were hardened, who could not even receive the Word when it came to you. But when your heart was ready to receive the seed, it believed, and it brought forth the fruit. Now you must nurture that plant until God calls you home. You must be faithful unto death. For to one who has, more will be given, and he will have an abundance. But from the one who has not, even what he has will be taken away. There's no pockets in a shroud. When we die, we give up everything. In this life, we're merely stewards. We're managers. We're caretakers. We're shepherds of what we have in this life. But when this life is over, we give it all back. We take nothing with us. Because what we have in this life is not permanent, we ought to seek to lay up treasure in heaven where it is. Treasures in heaven are not temporary. Treasures in heaven are ours forever. This life is fleeting, it's short, and it's going away. But in heaven, if we prepare for that, it will be ours for eternity. But from the one who has not, even what he has will be taken away. When we die, if we're not a Christian, that's it, we've lost it. This is why I speak to them in parables, because seeing they do not see, and hearing they do not hear, nor do they understand. Indeed, in their case, the prophecy of Isaiah is filled with that says, you indeed will hear, but never understand. You will indeed see, but never perceive. Isn't that sad? That people could listen to God speak to them, and they couldn't understand what He was saying. Even though He was speaking to them in their language, they could not comprehend what it meant. That's sad. That here was Jesus face to face speaking to them, and they didn't know what He was talking about. What is He saying? We do not know. But this people's heart, this is why they did not understand. The disciples didn't understand either, but they found out. These people didn't understand. They could have found out. How did they do that? They came and they asked Jesus, what does this mean? They had enough interest to inquire as to the meaning of what He was talking about. And these others, they were curious. Oh, this is interesting. This is puzzling. But I got to go home and fix supper. I got sheep to feed. I got to go work in the field. And some other time maybe I'll come back and listen some more. But it wasn't compelling enough that they said, what is he talking about? I've got to find out what he means. Surely there's more to it than talking about farmers sowing seed in the field. They didn't have that kind of interest. This people's heart has grown dull, and with their ears they can barely hear. Their eyes they have closed, lest they should see with their eyes and hear with their ears. Oh, I don't want to hear that because it's too hard. Be thou faithful unto death. I don't want to hear that. I want to have a good time. I'm young and there's life to be lived. And I don't want to hear this, be thou faithful unto death and all that kind of stuff. Oh, that's too hard. Lest they should see with their eyes and hear with their ears and understand with their heart and turn, and I would heal them. We're going to die. And God can heal us. He can raise us from the dead. We can live again. But we have to be part of His. We have to be with Him if we're going to inherit.